Greetings, my fellow servants of the God Emperor. It is the Ash Heritor, and welcome back to Rogue Trader. In the previous episode, we made some serious progress with a lot of things. And, yeah, we found out who killed Theodora, which was Argenta. What a shock. She had her reasons. They may have been a bit impulsive. She may have jumped to certain conclusions. So she may not have been entirely in the right to do so. She certainly wasn't in the right to kill Mord. But, yeah, she kind of acted out of impulse and reflex there. So Argenta has some stuff to answer for. We also recruited Ulfar, the Volca Fenrica, the Space Wolf, to join us in the arena. And we managed to convince Marajai, the whole reason that we're here, along with Iliad, I guess, to betray his compatriots, who are none too fond of him, and basically are using him as a toy plaything. So, yeah. He is now at least temporarily sided with us, and hopefully will help us get out of Komorra. If anybody can help us, it will be him. And I don't think this is a ploy. So, we must return to the chasm. I shall return to the Shrieker's Den. My duty calls me. What's the sudden hurry? The Shrieker's Den? Where is that? Abelard says, what, you haven't been in the Shrieker's Den? Yes, he has. Rogue Trader's retinue has suddenly grown smaller. The reasons for the departure did not sound particularly convincing, so perhaps it would be best to get there quickly. Yeah, I think they're going to go and kill, where is the Shrieker's Den? How do we get there again? That's to the arena, right? I think. Fuck, I don't actually remember. I need to quickly look. The incident. No? In the pit. Yeah, alright. So, to the pit we go. Yeah, suddenly a whole lot of less people here. We're gonna go back for Heinrichs later.
My options open.
So I think we need to get here real quick or somebody's gonna die. Because Ulfar and Argenta ran on up ahead. And those two I don't think we're super happy about. Marajai joining us. Abelard at least was able to restrain himself. And Iliad, well. Poor Iliad. Hopefully Marajai's not dead. I think it's getting there, though. The poor Slith in the cage. Can we recruit him? I want a snake party member. Time seems to stand still when you enter. Figures cast in shadow, huddled against the walls, turn to you. Everyone except for the few standing frozen in the middle of the room with weapons in their hand. Argenta is panting, but her weapon is steadily trained on Marajai. May thy will fortify my hand. May my faith in thee grant me strength. Ulfar's rumbling, malicious laughter echoes off the lair's ceiling. A nimble pest, aren't you? You could have surrendered without a fight. I would have snapped your neck and spared you torment, but you chose to die more painfully. Marajai, whose armor is dented in a few places, lets out a guttural laugh. What are you waiting for? It's time we finished our little dance. Marajai lightly brandishes his blades, laughing mockingly in his opponent's face. I can continue dancing with you for a long, long time, but I'm growing weary of your pathetic attempts. What's going on? Not all your lackeys are well-trained, Cyrene von Valancius. As soon as I crossed the threshold of this squalid hole, I was forced to take up arms. The abomination that you have allowed into the ranks of your companions must die. This is his will and my duty, rogue traitor. Argenta's eyes burn with the frenzied, incinerating fire. You currently have no right to speak. You're on a little bit of probation, Argenta. Oh there. I decided to unwind by chasing this stringy Xenos across the ceiling. Join me, Eitvetter. At least you're, I can appreciate your intentions a little bit more. Fucking Ulfar.
I did not save Marajai's life, so you could take matters into your own hands. Put your weapons away, all of you.
Ardenta's gaze upon you is full of condemnation.
I will not oppose you, rogue traitor, though my soul may clamor for the destruction of this foul thing. But I will wait for it to give me cause. I will wait eagerly.
Yeah, I mean, if he betrays us, by all means. Ulfar slams his gauntlet-clad fist against his armor, heaving a sigh of disappointment.
I am not one to end the battle while Azino still stands, but no matter, scrawny inhuman, we will get the chance to finish this another time.
Marajai takes his eyes off the exit and looks at you. The contorted mask of battle rage slides from his face, and he sheathes his blades.
If your lackeys have seen enough of the show, I have business to discuss with you, Cyrene von Valancius.
Marajai is casually inspecting his armor for damage, seemingly unperturbed by the attempted reprisal against him.
Monkey. Rogue trader.
Good.
There is something you must do for me.
I'm gonna listen in silence.
The soul of Erimeris, the Archon of the Reaving Tempest. It should belong to me. I do not know where, I do not know how, but that bitch tried to dispatch me without sullying her own hands, and she deserves to lose her life. Her soul will remain in my soul trap.
Normally I'm against this type of thing, but, you know, if you want to do that to your fellow Drukhari, sure, why not? It's only fair.
When we at last face each other, and we will face each other, even if I have to gut all of Camorra to do it. And if you're there when it happens, do not even think of trying to deliver the final blow. Only an Aziriesh has the right to take the life of an Aziriesh.
Okay.
And that right is mine.
Why do you hate Erimeris so much? It was your own fault you ended up in the chasm.
It is all somewhat more complicated than you're capable of understanding. Our game of old must come to an end. My first step went awry because of Nazrake's treachery. Now all I must do is finish what I started. Destroy her with my own hands before she destroys me.
Only an Azirash. Are you related?
Erimeris is my sister. What does it matter?
You have a complicated relationship, I see.
Yes. I valued her until she went too far in her attempts to dispose of me. She valued me until I refused to bare my throat for the blade without a word. Our relationship has come to a dead end. Now the tie between us must be severed.
What do you want with her soul?
Simply killing her is not enough for me. No, it is too banal. Keeping her imprisoned for all eternity in a cage of misery from which there is no escape. That is a fate more to my liking. Her fury and torment will feed me until her spirit dries up like a fountain of blood spraying from a sliced artery. And also, it might make her resurrection problematic.
So does that imply that Dark Eldar or Drukhari can undergo resurrection? And I guess that makes sense. They have sort of perfected the science of souls and flesh, so... And I know most of the Drukhari population is basically clones. Or, like, vat-grown. You know, artificially birthed. Artificially created, life forms. He's a trueborn, though. Like, all of the upper caste of the Drukhari are called trueborn, which are actually born from, you know, real parents. And it's also the reason why the Drukhari don't have the numbers issue that the Asuryani and the other Eldari sects have, is because, you know, they just grow new ones. their birth rate is still very low, much like any other Eldari subspecies. It's just they found a workaround that is grim.
Resurrection. What resurrection?
Naive creature. The homunculi of Camorra, including Tavantius, whom Erimeris favors, are able to regenerate our slain kin from small pieces of flesh held in amniotic tubes. Any Drakari you kill on the field of battle can come for you again, albeit at a price, since the homunculus claims a portion of their client's soul as payment for this precautionary measure. Perhaps Erimeris was desperate enough, or insane enough, to resort to such a contract. Who knows? Having Erimeris' soul in my keeping might make her regrown form, if one appears, defective. She might not remember me or you at all.
I can't remember, did we already kill her? I don't think so. We killed, Tazara. And Erimeris is the Archon of their Cabal, so I think, yeah, we need to still kill Erimeris. It says it right here, of course.
Very well. Should we encounter Erimeris at any point, I shall allow you to deal the final blow.
The answer I was expecting. I do not expect to wait long for the confrontation. When my sister learns of what occurred in the arena, she will send assassins, or decide to come herself.
Marazai breaks off. All his attention is now focused on a bent plate on his shoulder. A second later, he grips the edge of the plate and, with a strangled groan, tears it off. The piece dislodges with a hiss. Marazai begins to straighten the bent plate with his hands, revealing the surprising strength contained within his lean body. Examine the plate in Marazai's hands. The underside of the plate is fitted with two thin hooks. They do not look like normal armor fastenings. They are also coated in something wetly glistening. Oh god, he's like hooked into his own armor. Fucking Drukari.
What are you looking at?
After a few seconds, some ancient awareness spikes in you. The rapt attention of a deadly predator is focused on you. Your eyes dart up. Marazai has noted your interest. Silently, he turns his head to you and leans down. His eyes bore into yours, his gaze mocking and charged with promise.
Your armor is held on with hooks that dig into your body.
Correct. Directly into the nerve centers. Direct stimulation of the trigger points, provoking constant, unrelenting pain. Do you know how pleasurable it feels when your suffering rings out in unison with another's? The overwhelming ecstasy when your own agony bleeds into the agony of your enemy. My world is woven from that pleasure.
Ah. What a culture.
I can show you that world. I can teach you, if you do as you are told.
Seize Marazai by the throat.
I will gladly look upon a world in which you know your place.
Marazai's eyes widen in astonishment. With the hiss, he intercepts your arm, gripping your wrist. And you notice the gleam in his dark eyes and the hint of a smile on his twisted lips. Marazai could easily rip your hand from his neck if he wanted to. He's playing along with obvious enjoyment. Oh, great.
I do. And I will not forget my place, so long as you do not lose your grip. As you have already promised me, Erimeris, I will leave you now. When it is time to kill, let me know.
Oh, joy. Well, there he is. Let's talk to the others. Abelard, what do you have to say about all of this?
Lord Captain.
Nothing. Argenta? Also nothing.
May Terra's light be with you.
Ulfar?
Let us raise our cups at Vater, in honor of deeds accomplished and in expectation of those yet to come.
Why do you call me Eight Vater?
This is the name given on Fenris to a pack father, a commander or captain. An Edvater answers to a Jarl, the commander of a great company. Since you are the one who commands your crew, and I follow you at present, I am granting you the honored title of Edvater.
Can I be Eight Mother?
You, of course, are a maiden, not a father. But we have no word meeting maiden commander in our tongue, as all space wolves are men.
Yep. Astartes gene augmentations don't work on female. Thank you for this honor.
Be worthy of it, and see that you do not disgrace this glorious rank.
How are you planning on getting out of here?
I have had a few thoughts on that score, but don't try to pry them out of me. When the time comes, I will share them with you.
He doesn't fully trust us, which is fair. Perception test. It appears this warrior of the Emperor is blessed with brute strength, but is neither cunning nor ingenious. He is clumsily attempting to... Okay, no, this is on a failed test. He's clumsily attempting to hide his total lack of strategy for escaping behind tantalizing evasions. No, that's definitely not true. The Astartes are not stupid. Mostly. Why do you devour your enemies?
Why do you think?
He inquires innocently. Medicaid test fails. The answer seems clear to you. This bloodthirsty warrior has simply gone mad in captivity. Come to think of it, he was probably slightly deranged before he was taken prisoner. Is it a means of tricking your captors, pretending to be a monster?
Partly, Edvater. It is true that I have led the puny Xenos on a false trail to dull their vigilance, but that is not the only reason.
I'll say it if he doesn't, but I'll wait and see. Maybe he's gonna tell.
Do you know of the implant called the Omophagia? It is one of the blessings the All-Father granted to his Astartes. Nerve nodes that connect the stomach walls and the spinal cord allow me to absorb information from the genetic code of the flesh I consume. I have slain many Xenos and feasted on their flesh. My captors have watched me do it and taken glee in it. While I have been gathering information and planning my escape.
Oh man, I love it. Acting like an insane rabid beast while this is all part of, like... Yeah, he's using his, Astartes implants. I love it when writers actually make full use of what the Astartes are capable of. Because they have so much weird shit about them, like this. Tell me about your brothers, the Space Wolves.
Not everyone is granted the right to ask such questions. But you... I shall allow it. What do you want to know about the Astartes from the glorious Fenris?
Who are the Space Wolves?
Vilka Fenrica.
Hell yeah.
That is our name in the old tongue of our world. We are the fiercest of the All-Father's warriors. His executioners. His retribution.
Quite literally. The Space Wolves, as a legion, prior to the Horus Heresy, were the Emperor's executioners who were sent to deal with problems... Deal with many problems, including, presumably, I'm not sure if this is directly confirmed in the lore, I think at least one of them is confirmed in the lore, that one of the two missing legions of the redacted legions of the Space Marines was wiped out by the Space Wolves. And of course they were sent as, not actually as executioners against the Thousand Sons, but Horus garbled that message and made them be sent as executioners to the Thousand Sons, all in an effort to alienate the Thousand Sons from the Imperium and draw them into his ranks. And the Wolves, already having a lot of ire towards the Thousand Sons, gleefully decided not to look into that garbled message too much, and did exactly that. It should be noted, I don't like the Space Wolves in the Horus Heresy time. They are absolutely my least favorite legion. Most of the Space Wolf characters that showed up in the Horus Heresy really pissed me off. That fucking Rune Priest, that ultra hypocritical Rune Priest, and Russ himself. I didn't really like Russ either. However, in 40k, I like them a lot more. They're actually, yeah, one of my favorite among the first founding chapters, so aka the Loyalist legions that became chapters after the Codex Astartes was founded by Guilliman. I like how they're not really into the whole zealous. I mean, they are zealous in their own way, but they care a little bit more than the others. Not quite on the level of the Salamanders, but they care about, like, the people they fight alongside. So if they're fighting alongside, you know, mortal Astra Militarum troops, so Imperial Guard, and for some reason these Imperial Guard need to be, like, left behind, the Wolves will oftentimes be like, nah, no, we'll stay and fight with them, or we'll go the extra measure to get them out. Or, like, when Angron attacked Armageddon, so Angron being the demon primarch of the World Eaters, and the Space Wolves and the Grey Knights, along with many Armageddon Astra Militarum, so the Armageddon Steel Legion, fought Angron's demons and the World Eaters, and the Grey Knights banished Angron there. The Inquisition trying to keep the secrets of demons from the Imperium, so that's something maybe, you know, unless you're really familiar with 40k lore. All of this chaos stuff is, for the most part, completely unknown to the general populace, because chaos is a cognito hazard. Knowing about chaos gets chaos into your head. So they have a good reason for concealing it, but at the same time, the methods in which they do it is often horrific, which was basically the Inquisition was like, yeah, we need to euthanize the entire population of Armageddon, because we don't know which of them were or bore witness to demons, and specifically a demon Primarch. And the Space Wolves were like, nah, screw you, and actually went to war against the Inquisition to protect the people of Armageddon. So, in 40k, I really like the Space Wolves. In 30k, I do not. But we're in 40k, so we're all good here. Anyways, sorry for the tangent.
Our fearless Wolf King is Lehman Russ, son of the Old Father. Our world is Fenris, and our home the Fang, which rises from the world's spine into orbit. We are the thunder in the bloody storm of battle that calls to us. That is who we are.
Glory to the wolves of Fenris. Smiling in satisfaction, the wolf graces you with a magnanimous nod. In this case, yes.
But there is more to our spirit than grim destruction alone. In the Hall of Heroes, we hold feasts the likes of which you will see nowhere else. To thundering laughter, we raise our horns, tell our sagas, and honor our glorious fallen. Though the body of an Astartes is built to be immune to the effects of drink, we invented a way around this taboo. The mjod we brew can overcome even our blood. It makes us drunk, and makes our feasts jovial occasions. Mjod. You can brew it nowhere else but on good old Fenris. No other world is home to such poisonous plants.
I mean, there are other worlds that are home to such poisonous plants, but probably not the right mixture to interact with the Space Wolf genetic code. I love it. They're created to specifically be immune to poisons, and the wolves are like, nah, we'll find out a way to that we can make ourselves drunk. That's dedication. Fenris, what's it like?
Fenris is home. A harsh land of harsh winters and harsh people. When comes the Hell Winter, a fearsome season of frosts, the merciless world sea freezes, and great white bears, snow worms, and ice trolls go on the hunt. Then the murderous frost retreats, and boats of harpooners sail out to ply their craft, capturing sea snakes and krakens. And then comes the season of fire. Volcanoes awaken. Waves wash over whole islands, and only the land of Asaheim offers salvation to those whose blood and grit win them the right to live upon it. Clan fights clan. Crows circle over battlefields, and wolf howls rise up to the sky. That is my beloved home. There is no place in the universe like it.
Yeah, they live a brutal existence. And their planet, like many others, is kept deliberately technologically primitive so that it forces people to rely only on their own, like, ferocity and determination. There's quite a few planets that are like that throughout the Imperium. And the reason is because the Space Wolves use it as their recruiting ground. The most, I guess you could say, fierce of warriors get the option, or get the chance to be inducted into the ranks of the Space Wolves from Fenris.
Tell me, Edfater, what is the most fearsome foe on Fenris?
Ooh. Fenris is known as a death world for a good reason. There must be dozens of lethal creatures that inhabit the planet, but which is more fearsome than the rest? I'm gonna go with humans. Humans have conquered basically everything.
Humans.
It is true that humans are more dangerous than any animal, but true terror does not come garbed in familiar flesh and blood.
What, wolves then?
The curse of the wolf
Yeah.
is the most
Oh.
fearsome and
course.
most terrible foe on Fenris. In the heart of every brother, there lives a dark beast, bloody and forever ravenous. He hungers to kill, not for glory or duty, or his battle brothers, but solely for the sake of killing. For he who falls to that dark beast, there is no joy or thrill in slaughter. There is but dull rancor.
So, yeah. This is basically a curse that racks the Space Wolves. It causes them to, degenerate into basically space werewolves. They're absolutely fucking terrifying. And there's an entire company of Space Wolves that has mostly succumbed to the curse. They still sort of do what they're intended to do, but, you know, they're a little bit bloodthirsty. It's actually quite similar to the Red Thirsts and the Black Rage of the Blood Angels, but with more physical alterations, because they do actually physically mutate into this more wolf-like state. And there's an old legend that there are no wolves on Fenris. Which, of course, there are wolves on Fenris. However, the old legend sort of implies that all of the wolves on Fenris were actually once human. That had succumbed to this curse. Which is, yeah, it's cool.
In icons I have seen, Astartes look much less wild.
Our gene seed is unique. Lehman Ross blessed us with the Canis Helix, a genetic gift that heightens our senses, making them sharper than those of brothers from other chapters. The Canis Helix kindles a bloodthirst in our hearts and changes our appearance to resemble the lethal wolves of Fenris.
Well, for a Space Marine chapter, you are far from orthodox.
The wolves do not take orders from outsiders. We keep the old ways, not the Codex Astartes. We fight in packs, and we are trained and healed by our wise rune and wolf priests. We do not find honor in adorning ourselves in laurels. but instead etch the full names of our fallen kin as a promise of vengeance, and draw strength from that promise.
Indeed. So the Space Wolves, or the Codex Astartes, I should say, divided the legions of old into chapters, so that when a legion fell to chaos, it wouldn't be an entire goddamn legion falling to chaos. Now only a chapter can fall to chaos, which is, chapters are relegated at 1,000 Astartes each, whereas legions, yeah, there was no upper limit to how many there were. Several of them had well over 100,000 Astartes in them, which obviously that meant the Horus Heresy was a big fucking problem when 9 whole legions turned against the Emperor. The Space Wolves were like, nah, screw the Codex Astartes. Obviously, they don't have the numbers they did in the Horus Heresy. I don't even know if they were that numerous in the Horus Heresy. I don't think they were one of the more numerous legions. But, yeah, they still operate very differently. They also don't work in the same squad structure. They don't have the same, like, military structure as the other Space Marine legions. Their units are all very different. So they basically have a completely unique organization to the other Space Marines. And I don't think there's any other Space Marine group that has that. Like, the Blood Angels and the Dark Angels, I guess, are somewhat unique. And the Blood Angels a little bit, too, but less so. But yeah, so the Space Wolves are definitely different. Oh, the Black Templars, of course, are also have a very unique structure to them. But they weren't one of the original legions. They were an offshoot of the Imperial Fists. Anyways, what do you believe in?
We believe in the great wolves, in the deadly Blackmane and fierce Drakan the Thunderwolf, in redoubtable Hagar the Mountain Wolf, and in the Blooded Hunter. In the wolf that stalks between stars, who follows us wherever we may go. And in the uncanny two-headed Morkai, guard of the realm of the dead. Only the great wolves show us their favor. The others are more malign, but each teaches us a lesson. For that, we praise and honor them.
Yeah, so it's a bit of pagan beliefs, which is normally a big no-no in the Imperium, but are you going to tell the Space Wolves they can't do that? I don't think so. And yeah, I'll ask this question. I know the answer to it, but we'll let him say it.
The All-Father is not a god. He is the best of all humans, our perfect forebear. His blood flowed through the veins of Layman Russ, and Russ's blood flows in me. Does that make me a god? My respect for him has no end, and I am ready to die for him. But what place does faith have here? Is the All-Father like the massive Iron Wolf, whose every tuft of fur forms a mountain on the surface of Fenris?
Yeah, so yeah, they don't really worship the Emperor, which, you know, amusingly is actually what the Emperor wanted, so they are following the Emperor's code more closely than really anyone else, at least until Guilliman was resurrected. But then again, maybe the Emperor was fucking lying, and he is a god, so maybe they're just wrong. But yeah, so we asked, the Allfather is the Emperor. I didn't read the line aloud, which was my bad. Anyways, continue.
Or is he as enormous as the Sun Wolf, which rises to hunt every morning and fills our world with light? The All-Father is not a god, but the highest of humanity. Ordinary humans struggle to grasp this. But we, his warriors and offspring, remember the truth.
Okay, this is interesting, because this is going to be like, what does Cyrene exactly believe? I think I'm going to go with this.
Well, I believe that the Emperor is the god of humanity and our guardian.
Believe what you wish, Edvater. The All-Father never wanted us to revere him as a god, but we are not ordinary men. I do not know what his intentions were for the rest of you.
That is fair. That is a point that can be made.
What else do your wise priests do?
Lacan the Ruined Wolf once shared the mysteries of the healing potions and the secrets of magic sagas. He taught them to see the past and future in thrown runes, to call down storms, and to carve powerful talismans.
Okay. You suddenly feel a whisper of something menacing radiating from Ulfar. A necklace of various formidable-looking teeth hangs around his neck, and the teeth are covered in intricate wounds. Point at the wolf necklace he is wearing. Is that a powerful charm?
The All-Father gifted you with strong intuition. This was made by Skjati Twice-Thinker. The spirits liked him, and one could feast a whole long Hellwinter night to the words of his saga. So keen was his mind. He was my friend.
Ooh, his face lit up a moment ago with ruthless pride seems to darken as if a shadow passed across it. He's probably dead then. You spoke of full names that give you strength. What is your name in that case?
Ulfar Redmane. That is what my brothers call me.
I bet there's more to it. The primitive cultures of Fenris, or culture of Fenris, could well have bestowed such a simple and banal name upon Ulfar. There is nothing to wonder here. Yeah. I understand.
Do you? And there I was, about to round off my story with a short 400-verse saga about the gifts of Lacan the Ruined Wolf.
My curiosity has been satisfied. Perhaps another time.
Should what I told you reach other ears, I shall take your tongue.
He leans forward towards you, and with a friendly, only slightly feral grin, says that. I like it. Well, how did you end up here?
What do you want to know? What brought the Space Wolves to the Expanse? Or how I ended up in the non-human's Dark City?
Yes. How did you come to the Coronus Expanse? We have heard about them. Presumably brought here by the Inquisition, which is strange. They don't usually get along with the Inquisition.
An Inquisitor by the name of Calcazar put out a call for aid. My Wolf Lord did not refuse him, and had 2 packs deployed to the Expanse. We never trusted this ally, but a blood debt for a service rendered in the past forced our hand.
Okay, interesting. The Inquisition wields immense power. The entire chapter might have come to the Coronus Expanse if Calcazar requested it. What debt did you owe the Inquisitor?
He saved our brother who had lost the pack and was unable to look after himself or the chapter's honor.
He's talking about himself.
Calcazar returned our brother to Fenris and kept secret the misfortune that had befallen him. The Jarl knew that the Inquisitor's actions were driven by opportunism, and the desire to have us mighty warriors in his debt. But honor forced him to be hospitable to the stranger, and swear an oath of friendship.
Why did the Space Wolves not trust the Inquisitor?
The Inquisition. Pah! Rats! Scurrying around the All-Father's house and ruling it in the Master's absence. Cowards they are. The last into battle, but the first on any war council. We saw what they were worth in the months of shame.
Is that the event I was talking about? I don't know the actual name of it. That might be what I was referring to with the whole Angron Armageddon thing. Yeah, you've never heard of the Months of Shame. It's probably something from Fenrisian history. You know what, I'm gonna ask him. What are the Months of Shame?
An ancient strife. If you do not know of it, then you are not supposed to know.
Well, about Calcazar. I have met him, and for what it's worth, I do trust him. I will restructure lines from time to time. to have them make more sense for Cyrene.
Do not be taken in, Edfather. His words are persuasive. But until I see the blood trophies that prove his valor and loyalty, I will not be putting my back to him.
Honestly, that's fine. I'm not gonna force you to put your back to him.
That arrogant chief thought he could give us orders. But we wolves have always followed our own instincts and hunted in our own way. I wager that boiled his blood.
What do you know of his plans and objectives?
In warm furs, the old man does shroud his body. In cloaks of secrets woven, shrouds the sly man his plans. To know his dire purpose, swallow not the words of poison, but his gristle.
So if we want to know what his plans were, you have to eat him. Is that what you're saying? There might be a deeper meaning to it, but then again, these are the Space Wolves, so that might be exactly what he means by it.
How did you end up a captive?
We had gone on a raid for Xenos prisoners and fell into a trap. We had no war machines to support us, and some of our squad were wounded, so we were forced to retreat. I ordered my battle brothers to leave, but I remained behind to meet our guests.
Slow him down.
I do not know how many of the feeble wretches I slew, but I would have killed even more had their towering piles of bodies not hindered me in combat.
Classic.
They wounded me and captured me. They froze the joints in my armor. When they dragged me to their ship, 2 of my battle brothers descended up the Xenos and tried to free me. An insane plan, but it almost succeeded. Almost. And so there were 3 of us taken captive. And then there were 2. And then I was alone once
I
again.
think we know what happened to them. Teravantius experimented on them. Your fallen brothers, who were they? Saying sorry they died is not gonna... He's not gonna care. However, who were they? That's gonna give him the opportunity to tell a bit about them, which that is more important to the wolves.
Their saga is one I will not sing to you.
Okay.
You have spilled no blood with them, nor shared with them meat unmulled. Their spirits might be outraged if they knew I had sung of their deeds to a stranger.
Well, then I am sorry they died.
Yes,
Okay,
so am I.
fair enough.
Tell me about your time in Komora.
These are dark days you are asking about, Edfather. Let my keen-edged friend be a witness to the ferocity of my words.
Spinning a knife between his fingers to find his equilibrium again.
I was given to Teravantius for his amusement. In the arenas of Komora, Astartes are a rarity.
Yeah.
And he sent me out there to kill gladiators. Living as an inglorious butcher and a Xenos' puppet, I hated it. Constantly. Every moment. I had to take care of my mind before it was twisted to the 7 hells.
Yep.
Every morning I made entreaties to the All-Father, and every night I appealed to Russ. I trained my body, read the litanies, and in the darkest moments, I recited my own saga. I recalled every battle, every wound, every brother. And that is how I survived. I always survive.
cool.
This was a bleak saga, Heritor.
Yeah, I can understand. Answer a few questions about yourself.
Instinct bids me to remain silent. Such knowledge is not to be shared with just anyone. Only those who possess my complete trust.
Well, then, I must take my leave.
Fenris Hilda, Heritor.
Alright. Okay. We can quickly talk to Marajai. See if he has anything new to say. Oh, yeah. Marajai Aziresh stares down at you from his formidable height. His head slightly tilted to one side. The lean, wiry Xenos is encased in black armor. Not even a sliver of a gap has been left between the tightly fitting plates, which bristle with mutely gleaming barbs and hooks. Set in a white face striated with crimson tattoos, dark eyes devour you, burning with predatory, malevolent interest. My companions have made no further attempts to kill you.
They have not, to my deepest regret. Perhaps it is I who should try to show some initiative now.
Please don't. Any thoughts on how we can escape this place?
On a mountain of bodies, bathing in our enemies' tears and blood. Do not deceive yourself by thinking we will escape this place alive without violence. I, for one, hope that there will be plenty of it.
Oh, I'm sure there will.
But there is one unfortunate detail. An Arabenian has stepped into your path. One of Kegarak's tribe, who lurk in the tangle of the webway. I've heard them called harlequins in your tongue. The one that appeared in the Obsidian Court is the most dangerous and unpredictable of all. I'm beginning to think that his visit is a sign that the events unfolding around us have not been left to chance. Perhaps they are the result of interference, at the behest of the highest authority.
What highest authority? I'm in full agreement. What happened to you after the trial?
I was handed over to the witch cult to do with as they wished. First, they made me fight the dregs in the arena, and then, once they had had their fill of my debasement, I was granted entry into the blood-stained proselytes.
You did not find much favor among the witches, it seems.
You cannot hope to understand the intricacies of Camorra and how it is structured. We are all each other's allies and worst enemies here. Towers of strength and duplicitous traitors both. The cults have always been half a step below the cabals in the hierarchy. And the witches relished the chance to abuse someone who once looked down on them.
Interesting. What did you hope to gain by agreeing to become a proselyte?
The continuation of my existence. When I lost my standing, I became fair game for anyone tempted by the prospect of slaying a disgraced Cavalite. For vengeance or just for the pleasure of the kill. In Camorra, a lone Drakari is a target. My talents may be prodigious, but I held no illusions about my chances. If our conversation is finished...
I want to know what happened before you took me to Camorra.
You want to know how and to what end I orchestrated all of this? Ask your questions.
What were you and Tazara doing in my protectorate?
What do any of my kind do in real space? We were reaping. Camorra was clamoring for meat. The Dark City had suffered losses in the latest disjunction. We needed sources of sweet pain to prime its minds and bodies. When the Archon bade my cabal collect the harvest from the region, I did not suspect that it would turn into this game between you and me.
Why did you kidnap me?
When Irimaris ordered us to lay waste to the monkey settlements,
Okay, so what's
Tazara
Irimaris
and
doing?
I encountered resistance. I have hunted your kin too long not to notice how well you in particular were fending off our attacks. The rout into Zara's arena, the appearance at the plundered vessel. Your kind are usually powerless against us, but not on that occasion. I began to suspect that you could not have managed it without outside help. Help from our side.
Ooh, I like how they're putting things together. We're getting all these little hints from various characters. Iliet told us that Achilles Scalander was likely working with a Drukhari informant. Or she was sure that he was working with the Drukhari informant and then killed him. I'd previously thought that he had somehow laid this trap, but no. He'd been made aware of what Marazai and Tazara were doing, and I think he may have been... Scalander may have been in contact with Iremeris, or perhaps even the Archon Nazrakai. This may have been some sort of scheme by the Cabal of the Black Heart to destabilize the Cabal of the Reaving Tempest. Not sure. So who was he in contact with?
I began sending out spies and assassins. My eyes and ears infiltrated your vessel, your cities, and they discovered a trail that led back to one of your worlds. A trail that ended with a burned monkey, the source of the information about where and when my cabal was going to strike. A little trickery to draw you away from the planet. And I had your little informant in my grasp.
Okay, so it was him.
How the information was reaching his agents, the burned monkey himself did not even know. But based on the units involved and other details, it was clear. No monkey in real space could have gathered such specifics about raid complements and objectives. No, it was inconceivable.
Yeah, I was right.
The information was being fed to you by my own kind, and I knew who. Iremeris Aziriesh, Archon of the Reaving Tempest, my former mistress. A cowardly bitch who punishes anyone who threatens her grip on power. I knew that to win a war against her, I would need the support of the Reaving Tempest's patron, the Cabal of the Black Heart. So I allied with Nazrake, who presided over the trial. I promised him that Iremeris would be humiliated. I promised him evidence. A lowly monkey that would disgrace Iremeris in the eyes of the Archons. For that performance, I needed you.
So Iremeris... So he set things up so that Iremeris' efforts in the incursions in real space would fail. Which would basically cause her to be disgraced. Interesting. You have spies aboard my ship.
Of course. If I'm not mistaken, you met the infiltrator yourself. A Cabalite who left a lava from Tavantius in one of the monkey. Or did you never work out the reason for the treachery during the raid on your ship so long ago now? Then there is no need for me to mention the sleeper agents hidden on your worlds.
Yeah, that was the old guy that was having visions. Basically, let the Drukhari in, or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, he was indeed under Drukhari manipulation. But so through a larva, just like us. Interesting. What agreement did you make with Nazrakai?
Overthrowing an Archon is far from easy, even one who has already tarnished her reputation. Every member of a Cabal has their supporters, and Iremeris is no exception. Nazrake promised me a sham trial in the Obsidian Court with a predetermined outcome. Iremeris should have been convicted and dethroned. I was supposed to take her place and turn the Reaving Tempest into a loyal vassal of the Black Heart. Nazrake was supposed to be the axe that fell on her neck. But it fell on mine instead. It was devious and worthy of praise, but why? A secret pact with Irimaris, or is there another reason? I will tear the answer from his throat along with his final breath. It must be said that Nazrake did not have to try very hard to turn the court against me. Not after the stunt you pulled before the assembled Archons.
Yeah, this was not. We're not going to ask this. Because this was obviously just the thing in our head trying to get us to say certain things. You and Iliad conspiring together. How did that come about?
Conspiring? No. There was no plot between us.
Yep.
She merely rushed to my bait. At first, I planned to use the one you trusted, the burned monkey with whom we had spent long hours awaiting your arrival. But my cousin was so swift. Afterward, she tracked down the monkey, killed him, and took the device that he had been using to contact me.
Yeah, as she told us.
I planted the first poisoned seeds in her soul back at our first meeting. I dropped a hint that I knew what had become of her world. I lured her in and left her with you. Time took care of the rest. That and an unpleasant discovery aboard your own ship.
So he knows about that too. Possibly from Iliad.
I did not ask her to hand you over to me. No, doing that would have made my poor cousin doubt herself even more than she was already. I simply told her where to seek out the traces of her craft world and the answers to her questions. A favor for a kinswoman, nothing more. And then I made ready for your arrival. For the only way she would reach that place was with you.
But still, what do you know about Iliad's craft world?
I know it exists. I know that my cabal found it, helpless and stationary, unable to protect its sons and daughters. I know that Iliad's kin began showing up as prisoners in the Reaving Tempest's spire, where they were fonts of exquisite, delightful pain. I spent too much time beyond the limits of our home to learn more than that. But that was enough to tempt Iliad with false hope.
Tell her the truth, now.
We've already had words. I have no reason to conceal the truth now. Iliad has outlived her usefulness to me. Watching her face as she learned the truth was priceless.
And the theft of Rykard's son, was that your doing?
Did you not hear me when I answered you the first time? I do not like to repeat myself.
Okay.
Then what else do you need?
When given the chance to join me, you took it readily. That surprised me.
I had no intention of ending my days playing the role of meat in the arena. And then you blithely offered me an alliance after what I'd done to you. Why?
I value good fighters. You are one.
That is true. But I'm not merely a hireling. It is strange you did not consider that when you offered me an alliance. But it does not matter.
Alright, well. We won't ask him about Komoro right now. Let's take our leave.
Do not keep me waiting too long. My weapon is tired of languishing in its sheath.
Alright. So we had a good conversation with Ulfar. Do we have anything in our Shrieker arsenal? Why, yes. Plenty. Another Astartes bolter. Another Astartes chainsword. Combat shotgun. That can go to cargo. Dueling sword. That's kind of good. Regular flamer. Don't think we need that. Yeah, I'll take that. With Toby pattern plasma gun. The gladiator mesh armor, that's pretty good. Headhunter light carapace. The ranger armor. Commander notes. There's all kinds of cool things here. At the beginning of the holder's turn, all enemies in a 3-cell radius gain 1 stack of bleeding for each common effect on this enemy. Okay. Intendant boots. Whenever the wearer uses a consumable item, they gain plus 2 MP and plus 20% dodge until the start of the next turn. That's kind of cool. And more sharpshooter boots. I think we already have sharpshooter boots. I think I already gave them to Earliet. What do they do? Performs a single shot ranged attack from any cover. This attack gains awareness divided by 4 armor penetration. That's good. I think that's different from the one that we gave to Earliet. The Soldier Aquila Pendant. Whenever the wearer hits with a ranged weapon within melee range, the target gains 1 stack of Perplexed. Okay. That's good. And the Sword Dancer Cloak. Each time the wearer dodges a melee attack, they gain 5 plus agility bonus critical hit chance until the end of the next turn. Yeah, that's also good. Then a bunch of these. Sure. We'll take these. Let's move stuff around. We have Marajai now. Who dropped from our party? No, nobody. It's all here. Okay, so let's have a look at him. He is a melee character. Alright. Very high agility, very high weapon skill. You're an assassin, if I've ever seen one. Let's see what he's got. So, skills first. Back here. So, very high athletics, very high demolition, very high lore Xenos. See if we can't do more with those. Wait. I want to go back and see what he's got in Warrior first. So, defensive maneuvers. Whenever they take damage, they gain 19% dodge. Yep, that's good on him. Easy target. Critical damage is increased by 8% against enemies not armed with melee weapon. That's cool. Athletics. Breakthrough. Okay, so this gives him the slash thing. Which is, yeah, that's cool. Cannot be used in the same round as charge, though. Warrior dashes through an enemy. Yeah, so we've seen this. I didn't have a character to use that on, though. But it does look like a cool ability. Plus 10 to dodge with nimble. Makes sense. Okay, some carouse bonus. Not sure why he has that. Okay, the warrior becomes incredibly deft. Charge and slash do not end the warrior's movement and grant 17% dodge for 1 round after use. That's awesome. Daring Breach. Plus 10 movement. Okay. Blade Fury. Each use of slash increases the damage dealt by slash by 1 until the end of combat. That's also awesome. More agility. Reckless Strike. Okay. I would have given him something else, but fine. Plus 15 to parry. That's good. More agility. More carouse. Desolation. The warrior's melee attacks deal an additional 7 damage to enemies that have no allies in adjacent cells. So he's very good at picking off lone, like, ranged targets. We just need to make sure he can move quickly. Strength. Combat Master. Enemies gain no melee superiority bonuses against this character. Good. And Daring Breach. Until, yeah, so extra movement there. Cool. So now checking in, whoops. Let's look here. We go back to archetypes. Checking in what you already have with Assassin. So Dance Macabre. The Assassin dashes in a straight line for up to 4 cells, suffering -6 damage from attacks of opportunity and gaining 14% dodge against the enemies they dash through until the next Assassin turn. If the Assassin has not dashed through any enemies, at the end of their turn they gain plus 6% cover efficiency to their cover until the Assassin moves next. After the first use, the Assassin can use this ability again for free. That's really cool. An Eye for the Unscathed. Whenever the Assassin attacks an enemy that is at full wounds, the Assassin gains plus 20 dodge and dodge reduction against that enemy. Okay. Dispatch. Yeah, that's the main ability. AP increase, indeed, and more agility. We have Lone Killer. While the Assassin has no allies in a 5-cell radius around them, they gain 10 dodge and 10 dodge reduction. More agility. Athletics. Elusive Shadow. Great. Yeah, that would be good on him. I kind of want to give him Killing Edge, though. Or Death Whisper. But Dance Macabre is nice, because he needs to be against the right type of target. The Assassin gains 15 lethality against enemies that have any of the following effects. Slow, immobilized, or hemorrhage. Okay. Dual combat feature. Alright. Yeah, that's good. Whenever the Assassin attacks an enemy with a single target attack, this attack reduces the target's armor and dodge. Okay. at 10% until the assassin's next turn. Weapon skill, athletics, dispatch, upgrade. Okay, extra damage equal to 45% of the target's missing wounds. So, very good at picking off... he's not only good at, like, alpha striking targets at full health, but good at picking off targets that are at low health, too. Especially with that. So that's cool. Ambush. At the start of the assassin's turn, all enemies that do not have line of sight, or the assassin in their line of sight, after suffer the unsuspecting effect until the end of the assassin's turn. The assassin gains 7% hit chance and 7% crit chance. That's cool. Perception and Lore Xenos. Okay, well, let's get some more stuff here. So, we can give him Killing Edge or Fainting Attack. I think I'm going to give him Death Whisper. Just because that's awesome. Okay, what do we got here? I think I want to actually make sure that he's got a couple of unique talents here. Emboldened by Bloodshed, while Myra's Eye is bleeding. His fellowship and willpower is increased by 15 while Myra... Okay, all of these are ones that require him to be bleeding. Don't know about that. Let's give him some enhancements here, so we can increase his weapon skill further. That sounds good. And then we can get some more assassin abilities. Or perhaps there's even some basic abilities that we didn't give him, like swift movement. I think I'm going to give him swift movement. I want him to be able to move real fast. Here. Ooh. Coercion? Sounds good. Want him to be good at that. Create an opening. If an enemy suffers a critical hit from one of the assassin's allies, at the start of the assassin's turn, a new opening is created on that enemy, on whichever side is closest to the assassin. It has only some tangential use. Each use of aim for the opening on the same target reduces the target's dodge and dodge reduction by 10%. That could be good. The assassin gains lethality % chance to deal 5% of the target's maxed wounds when hitting an opening. That's awesome. Perfect opening. Might do that. Yeah, let's do that. And then we can get a... So we get a strength. And then I do also want to give him a strength bonus so that he can do more damage as well. And that'll be it. Alright, let's check his equipment. What do you have, baseline? Oh, yeah. We first have a couple of other items that I think I want to make sure that the right people have. So, I think we have a trinket here that he can use. Which is the new one that we just got. This one, absolutely. That's going to be quite good on him. That'll be good. We don't have a helmet for him. I think we need a specific Astartes helmet. But was there the... Let me check the Astartes bolter. Is this one better than the one he currently has? No, it's the same. Just looking, making sure it is the exact same. Because if it is, I think I can just throw it into cargo. We do have a multi-melta, which he could use, but I think I'm going to keep him with the Astartes bolter. We have another Astartes chainsword, which is the exact same as what he has, so we'll add this to cargo as well. And then quickly looking through some armor options. So she's got the Enforcer Light Flak. Yeah, her intelligence isn't very good, though. Headhunter Light Flak. Her awareness is okay. It's 4% extra dodge. No, the armor that she has is, I think, good. Let's check him, though. We've got all kinds of new stuff. So he's currently wearing Incubus armor for 45% armor, but dodge reduction. So I don't think we want to actually have him with dodge reduction at all. So I might give him something that's going to not interfere with that. So we could just give him the reinforced Cabalite armor. However, what does the reinforced Incubus armor look like? That does look pretty cool. But I'll give him the reinforced Cabalite armor. Then we can just ditch the regular Incubus armor, because I don't think we're going to need that. Face of the Sovereign. Okay. I mean, I'm going to give it to him, because that's going to be good. Presumably he'll be killing people, and he can't wear too many other helmets. So, do you inflict bleeds? Cabalite Venom Blade. This surprisingly doesn't inflict bleeds, but let's look, because we have a couple of potential weapon options here. Bloodseeker Clave, that does a lot of damage. It's a two-handed weapon. Whenever the sword hits a bleeding enemy, it removes the bleeding and inflicts toxin of the same power. I think I want to give him that. What is this, though? An Incubus Clave. Okay, that's two-handed. However, this one is better. 21 to 32. That's 24 to 36. I'm going to do that. So, yeah, it looks pretty cool. I think I can send these to cargo. Do we give you a pistol, or do we give you two weapons? I think I'm going to give you two melee weapons. So, Cabalite Venom Blade, and then we also have these. The serrated Glimmer Steel Blades. Each successful attack with this weapon increases the damage of the bleeding effect suffered by 2. Or by 3, even. Does it inflict bleeding, though? That I don't know. I'm going to throw this into cargo. Unless it has certain benefits. It does have 5% extra armor piercing. But the damage is way less. I'm going to ditch this. I think I'm going to go with these. Also, they look pretty cool. Splinter Pistol. I don't think we need either of these, then. And let's split these up. I'm going to send these two to cargo. I might give him one of each. I like that, actually. He has no ranged attacks. That's fine. So, where was the boots that were going to be good on him? That's pretty good. It's just... Start of the wearer's turn, they gain 20% dodge until the end of the round. Agility by 5. Athletics by 10. That would also be quite decent. Whenever the wearer uses a consumable, maybe. All allies in a 2-set, no. Charge is -1 AP. He's got too many things that he'll use instead of charge for that. So I think I'm going to give him the Adrenaline Boots. What is your cloak that you have? The Battle-Scarred Mantle. When the wearer ends their turn, they remove burning and bleeding and toxin effects from adjacent allies. Then the wearer inflicts bleeding. Okay, actually that is kinda good. But then he needs to be near allies. I'm gonna equip this. So it's gonna make him quite good with his two melee weapons. Maybe I give him a ranged weapon then, instead of the clave. Not sure. I would like to be able to inflict bleeding. And that type of stuff, though. Can he... Okay, that's pretty good. Homunculus Injector. Wraithbone Grenade. Dark Swiftness. I'm going to keep all of these, because they're unique. His gloves. Undying Rage. Each melee attack performed by the wearer increases their armor by agility bonus. Okay, that's pretty good on him. So armor by 7%. But I think we have the Riposte Gloves, which are even better. And, yeah. It's looking pretty good. I'm going to give him this. The Anatomous Amulet. At the beginning of the holder's turn, all enemies in a 3-cell radius gain +1 stack of bleeding for each common effect on this enemy. I'll take that. I don't think there's anything else that's going to be really good on him. So we'll go with that. I want to quickly check the Sharpshooter Gloves. Okay, you have Kasserkin Gauntlets. These wearers grant the wearer a 10% bonus to critical hit chance. Increased if they don't move. Okay. As opposed to... Where are they? Sniper Gloves? Yeah, that is a good good item, though. No, I'm not replacing that. Oh, his boots. Sharpshooter boots. That was it. And it is the same. Okay. I think we can ditch the other ones. Because I don't think we're going to have 2 snipers in the party. I kind of do, but... What were my boots, actually? I don't even have boots! What the hell? Yeah. Yes, please. Yeah, alright. That's pretty good. Argenta uses a lot. I'm gonna give her the consumable one. Just because she does use a lot of consumables. She throws a lot of grenades. Speaking of a lot of grenades, let's give her some. I'm not gonna give her a crack grenade. We're gonna give her 2 frags. And then, of course, the medkits that she already has are good. Marzai is equipped. Awesome. Oh, we are missing a trinket. Ah, because that was that. Yeah, makes sense. Anything with bleed? I don't think anyone here in the party has anything that involves bleeds, so... I'm just gonna have to give him something. He doesn't use psychic powers. He doesn't have psi rating. Doesn't do that. 15 Medicae. He has combat stimulants. Fuck it. I'm gonna give him this. His carouse is 55. It's not horrible. He'll get some extra wounds. And this, I don't have anything better for him, so... I don't know what combat locus is. Okay. I like it. I think that's going to be cool. We definitely want to see him in action. Let's quickly talk to everybody else. How's Malice doing? Nope. Okay. Just going to keep him in this cage for a while. That's fine. Idira? Are you pissed? Idira paces back and forth, covering her ears, cursing at invisible interlocutors, and sometimes dissolving into pitiful whispers and sobs. Seemingly of her own volition, her trembling fingers pick at the unhealed wounds left by the Xeno device. Idira, are you alright?
Wait, you're serious? The thing is, Lord Captain, my neighbors from behind the door have come roaring back into my sick little mind. They must have missed me, because they're noisier than ever now. But I guess that's better than being a pawn in the hands of Xenos doing experiments on myself.
What are your friends behind the door saying? Anything useful?
It's harder than usual to pick out anything specific. With all these dampening gadgets around, it's like trying to hear through a wall of static. But if I try harder...
No, please don't.
The threads are very tangled. Some of them are woven together, but each one is trying to pull in its own direction. The puppets think that they have free will, but it's only because they have been ordered to think and act so. This is a skilled puppet master at work here. His dark hand is far away, but that only makes it more terrifying. Even a colorful doll that springs out like a jack-in-the-box and scampers around wherever it pleases does so by his leave.
Ooh. Question is, who is she referring to? Nocturne? The Dark Apostle that we briefly had an encounter with that seems to definitely be involved in things? Or this Epitaph, who I'm not quite convinced that it isn't a person yet.
You must listen well to the strange melody and step in time with it. Its music is dismal and dangerous, but it does not echo the chorus of torment. This does not mean the dance will not be bloody, but once you learn it, you can lead the steps.
She's referring to Nocturne here, with the dance choreography type of stuff. That is very, Arabenian, or Harlequin, as we say.
Little time is left to gulp down the bloody dust. The twisted mirror with no reflection beckons you into its labyrinth and offers hope in a moment when death is inevitable.
The Edge of Daybreak. Anything with mirrors is associated with the Edge of Daybreak. We can't forget about that.
I can't make out. Damn it! It's a lost cause, Lord Captain.
Any ideas on how we can get out of here?
Looks to me like we're up to our necks in every type of shit known and unknown to humanity. Could there be a way to sneak out of the arena? I don't know, Lord Captain. Right now, I can't tell the difference between my own thoughts and the voices, let alone come up with an escape plan. But of course, it's possible the whispers will give us a nudge in the right direction.
Or the wrong. I must go. Stay strong, Adira. She nods, lets out an unintelligible sound, and once again clasps her hands over her ears. Yeah, it's not going too well for her. Where is Argenta? Oh, there's Iliad. We can talk to her as well.
You came back from the dark, Elentark? Unharmed.
Although Iliad's sharp features remain the same, the deep shadows around her eyes and her listless gaze give her the appearance of a living corpse. The Eldari looks withered, haunted, despondent. But when you approach, the relentlessness in her eyes is replaced by a faint glimmer of hope. Okay, there's nothing more to say here.
So says a butterfly struggling in the dark city's web. I will be close, Elentark. And I will support you in the coming trials, if you choose to let me.
I do. I sure do. You made some mistakes, but that's alright. Argenta. You didn't have anything to say, right? No. Okay, well, off we go. The question is to where? Back to Teravantius? Okay, who do I bring? I'm bringing Marazai. Who's gonna stay behind this time? Let's leave Abelard behind. Abelard, you manage things in my absence. And of course, we need to get Heinrichs back. So hopefully, since we have something that we can trade, we can get Heinrichs back. I'm sure he's going to be absolutely thrilled to know that Marazai has joined us. Yeah, we're going to have a quick chat with Calcazar when we're out of this. We're going to have to smooth some things over. I'm going to keep Marazai on a very tight leash. We'll let him indulge, but only on the right people. AKA people who deserve it. You know, if he wants to go and massacre some pirates, or, you know, chaos cultists or anything, you know, who am I to stop him?
Always keep your eye on the prize.
So, let's have a quick look around. Yeah, you know, I'm enjoying Komora quite a lot, actually. It started off a little bit rough and weird, but it's gotten better. Quickly have a check. Just inspecting the different areas here. Ah, we can use this now. Tech use. Idira, you can do it.
The whispers told me how.
Good. What do we got here? Oh. What's this? Mystic Ward. At the start of every combat, the wearer's allies gain reflection or deflection equal to the wearer's psi rating. Whenever an ally suffers any damage and loses non-temporary wounds, this effect is removed from that ally. That's kind of cool. Bruiser's Boots. Whenever the wearer performs an area attack, they instantly provoke attack of opportunities from all adjacent enemies. The wearer gains plus toughness bonus temporary wounds for each attack of opportunity provoked by the attack. You think, oh, maybe this doesn't look very good. On fucking Abelard, this would be awesome. And more Wraithbone grenades. Alright. Hold on, what was this one? And what's your... You have two... Right, you have this one. This is basically useless on you. I'm giving you this. Then I'm also going to give you a Psi Pendant. So, we'll give you the Psychic Phenomenon Absorbing one. And then we can just re-equip the tech stuff if, we encounter any somewhere. So what do we got here? Into the Anatomical Opera? Let's go. Oh, interesting. We got this. The rising currents carry the smells of pain, blood, ichor, and failed ambitions. The smells of the dark city. With my wings flung open, I weave a path through the spires like a dark lightning bolt, chaotic and unpredictable in its patterns. To fly is to hunt, and everyone in flight hunts everyone else. Even I, Scourge,
Gartherit Bloodfeather do not have the privilege of inviolability around these parts. I may become someone else's prey, except probably not today. This day, I am the hunter. My homunculus-modified olfactory receptors pick up the scent of my prey, and I tread cautiously as I approach. The stench of Monkey is foul but varied, and the scent of my prey is quite telling. A powerful specimen, brash and reeking of the blood of others. I descend to the minaret that grows out of the nearest spire and provides me with an excellent view. Accelerated reflexes allow me to assess the situation in a fraction of an instant. It is time. Okay, so, wow, we're taking from the perspective of the assassin that's coming to take us out. But I still decide to wait and get a better look at the prey. Female Monkey, a pampered upper caste cub who was fed and equipped with the best their race can offer. It certainly arrived in the Dark City recently, the city which has not yet managed to leave a mark of perpetual expectation of doom on its flattened snout. The most glorious game which clings to life, the strongest, and leaves the sweetest death essence. The reflexes urge the muscles to act. I act. The shard carbine spews forth a stream of crystalline projectiles that howl and shatter as they pierce the flesh of the prey. Uh-oh. A deadly slashing blizzard drapes the streets. In bloody snow, the bodies of random passers-by caught in the fire falling to the ground. This is a common occurrence in the spires. Everyone around me flees from the field of death whose borders I have made. The prey falls but is still alive. I did not expect the hunt to end with the first salvo. The prey is badly injured. I can easily finish it off in the open. The prey is trying to locate me among the tangle of spiked minarets. Good. Its frantic gaze is looking for my winged figure. The hyperpupils allow me to examine the prey's face. I can see its eyes scrutinize my gear. There is no need to hide anymore, so I stand up to my full height and emit a wailing battle cry. Let the prey know what will kill it. The prey summons companions to its aid. A mistake! I unleash a new fan of crystalline shards, and the flesh of the prey blossoms with new cuts from my projectiles. Anyone who tries to approach it will be killed by the bitter shrapnel. The prey should have run away, not given me more chances to cripple it. The prey is weak. The prey breaks into a run. Clever. By escaping from the open streets, the prey has deprived me of the advantage of my long-range weapon. But I will not let it escape. So I spread my wings to soar over the alley, pelting the prey with bursts of indirect fire. The chase must not end too soon. The petitioner wanted my prey to die slowly. Who's the petitioner? Interesting, they're coming after me, not Marazai. Not Nazarkai. I think he's too detached from everything to care about me specifically. Eremerus, maybe? Not Teravantius. Might be Eremerus, but she would go after Marazai. Nocturne? Testing me? Maybe? I think Nocturne is trying to test me. I think that's what this is. He sent the Scourge after me. I could do a toughness test. I'll probably fail that. An agility test, which I'll also probably fail. Or a ballistic skill test, which I have a better chance. Okay. Yeah. The prey grabs someone's weapon from the ground and returns fire at random. The air fills with gunfire. As soon as the prey fires the first shot, everyone starts shooting everyone else. The chaotic firefight engulfs the entire street. It spreads across the Dark City like a wildfire, mindless and violent. I am forced into a steep dive, spinning around and dodging the tracks of multiple projectiles. The damn trick worked, and I let out a frustrated squeal. The hunt continues. So we're being hunted by a Scourge. That's one of these. They're the winged Drukhari. They have been modified by homunculuses to be able to fly and have much more avian features like taloned feet and all that type of stuff. They're very bird-like. The prey manages to elude me for a moment by ducking into a crowded street. The jet booster on my back emits a scream of ghostly blue flame as I continue my pursuit. As I storm into the street, I see the prey again. This is a nice catch. The petitioner wanted me to deliver the prey to her, but I decide to do something different. When it is over, I will impale the body of the prey on a spike protruding from the highest spire, so that it serves as a testament to my victory.
My flight is swift. Everything unnecessary and atavistic has been cut from my body so that air currents carry it like a projectile from a splinter rifle. Alas, it is also my weakness. I am so light, even the smallest obstacle can throw me off course. But the prey has no idea how vulnerable I am in flight. The initial horror caused by my sudden attack has already worn off. The prey has suppressed its panic and is acting decisively and boldly, a commendable triumph of will over instinct. Seeking to slow me down,
The prey... We could turn some bystanders against her. We could bar my way with a cataclysm. What? Or Lore Xenos, which we will definitely fail. We're going to turn some bystanders against her.
It only takes the prey a couple of furious shouts to convince those huddled in the alley that a monster is coming for their heads. Lies! I am only pursuing the prey. I am met with frantic gunfire, and after making a sharp ascent, I take a pair of plasma grenades from my belt and hurl them into the crowd. The bodies of the gullible fools who believed the prey evaporate and turn into bloody mist. The luckier ones fire at me, and one of the shots brings me to the ground. I wail furiously, and finish them off with pointed bursts from my shard carbine. To cast me down is an indelible insult. The conclusion is drawing closer.
There it is. It looks like a hymn.
As I turn the corner, I triumphantly realize that I have driven my prey into a dead end. It is time for the massacre. The poison I received from the petitioner as payment for the hunt is contained in the crystalline projectiles, and should have worked by now. It will slow down the nervous system of the prey, weaken its muscles, and render it unconscious. When I spot the prey, I am pleased to note...
That's a fail. That's a fail. And that's a fail. Uh-oh.
When I spot the prey, I am pleased to note the early signs of the effect of my combat toxin is having on it. Its movements are slowed and it is blinking often. Spots are floating in front of its eyes by now.
Well. The prey looks defenseless and I attack, failing to notice the trap it has left for me.
I see a monofilament stretched between the walls, a primitive trap indeed. I fold my wings for a moment and tear it down with a blow from the muzzle of my shard carbine. Everything will be over in moments. The outcome will be decided in close combat. Wasting no time, my prey and I seize one another in a violent, furious embrace. Every decision made over the course of this fleeting hunt is being weighed, tipping the scale that will ultimately determine the winner. I am presently surprised when I realize the prey is aware of my combat style. It covers the vulnerable spots I like to cut open with my monomolecular claws, but this knowledge will not save it from death. My embedded glands spew hyperadrenaline into my bloodstream, and my artificially grown muscles convulsively swell under the porous fabric of my ghost plate. I torment the prey with claws protruding from my forearms and knees, and the prey...
70% chance to succeed there. We're gonna... Actually, we will fail that. Oh, with a 50% bonus. We could break its bones. We have toughness chance here. Medicaid will fail. We'll do this.
Bats on brute force, trying to break my fragile bones and shatter my joints. The powerful blows crush the hollow bones drilled by the crafty homunculus. Their lightness served me well during the flight, but has betrayed me here on the ground. I lose my footing, my body going floppy like a rag. My strength waning, I reach for the shard carbine and shoot the prey right in the face at point-blank range. The crystalline projectiles whizzes within a hair's breadth of the face. A crushing blow turns my magnificent weapon to rubble with a mournful crunch.
The prey grabs me by the throat, lifts me into the air, and snarls. It wants to know why I attempted to kill it.
Would I tell it if I could? About my petitioner, Kekiros the Witch. Okay, Kekiros. About how insulted she was by the deaths of her fosterlings, the bloodstained proselytes in the arena at the hands of my prey. About how badly she wanted to spite the prey's master, the sour-tempered homunculus Taravantius, who had arranged that insult. I do not know. For my throat is crushed, and only a faint wail escapes it. I die. I'm dying at the feet of my prey. No, at the feet of a monkey. A humiliating end for one who earned the status of apex hunter of Cumorah through torturous alterations of the flesh and bloody pilgrimage to the very top of the spires. Does it hurt to perish like this? It does. Is it fair? It is.
Huh, that's interesting. The chaotic burst of violence that bloodied the streets of Cumorah ends just as abruptly as it erupted. Such is life in the spires. These encounters are really cool. I like these. Well, are we alright? I have an injury. Everyone else is okay, though.
Sins
Argenta.
hidden in the heart turn all to decay.
You,
the pain will
oops.
subside.
Wrong character.
Just in time.
Fuck. Alright, well, let's equip some new ones, then. Thankfully, I have 1,000,000 of these. By 1,000,000, I mean 35, which is slightly less than 1,000,000.
Let me tend to your wounds.
I'll make sure to return the favor
A
one
dead
day.
witch. Or, sorry, a dead, What's this? Scourge's adrenal glands. Alright, adrenal glands enhanced by the homunculus, capable of dispersing pure hyperadrenaline through the owner's blood. Well, we have 2 fancy trinkets now that we can offer to Teravantius in exchange for something. Where are we now? Well, a whole lot of people died.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Where the hell is he, anyways? He's over here. Back to the anatomical theater. We'll follow in our party's wake just to see if there's any items out and about. Okay. Well, we survived an assassination attempt. We'll talk to Teravantius, and then I think I'm going to end the episode. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing more of those, cool, like, hand-drawn, story-based encounters. They work for stuff that, like, this game's combat system can't really do, like a solo chase type of thing. The CRPG format is not good for that type of encounter, so... It's very cool there.
I always have a backup.
And it forces you to use your main character's skills. Let's go in here. Homunculus' minion. Alright, Teravantius. Teravantius rushes about the laboratory, snatching up certain tools, vials, and notes. He conceals some of these items inside his own body cavities and destroys the rest.
Did something happen? The cult of the fatal thirst craves blood, specimen. Your blood. One must be astoundingly insensitive to the vibrations of the Dark City not to realize this.
Yeah.
Dracon Azirash. After you went against the Archon of the Reaving Tempest, you decided to violate the wishes of the Archon of the Black Heart as well. You were thrown into the arena to die. You show wretched incompetence by defying your masters. My presence offends you, I see. Good. You have made yourself quite comfortable here in the chasm. Is this where you have kept the things you have dared not bring to the spire of the Reaving Tempest? It must be vexing having to abandon it all as you flee the cult's wrath.
One of Teravantius' limbs twitches and strikes blindly. Only Marazai's reflexes save him from a fatal neck wound. But the homunculus makes no further attempts to attack. He seems to care more about his substances and instruments than the insufferable Cabalite.
I don't care about Kekaros. You promised to help me get out of here.
You hear mockery in the homunculus' voice.
Forget the old promises, monkey. This is war. My loyal servants are being slaughtered across the chasm. I cannot take any more specimens away with me. The only ones I have already packed are far more valuable than you.
Marazai's face suddenly changes. His mocking grin gone, he fixes his gaze on the homunculus.
Into the spires of the Reaving Tempest, to hide under the wing of Eremerus, an Archon fallen into disgrace. What an impudent choice! You should run away from her and her troubles unless you are somehow connected to our crime.
Teravantius glares at Marazai.
You were not in the position to know about the Archon's plans before, much less now. And so unravel the rotten threads in the tapestry of fate, Elantak. Here is the true nature of the Dark Ones, a lie hidden beneath sweet promises. Having learned from a cruel mistake, I foresaw this outcome.
Yeah, me too.
Belated wisdom. Why do the witches desire my death? You humiliated the monkey. Keikaros and I agreed that she would send fresh meat against you, but she decided to undermine my authority by sending out her best. You slaughtered them, and so it was the cult's authority that suffered. But who cares about a pathetic monkey? You are my lackey, and thus it is I who is responsible for undermining the cult's authority.
Yep.
And it wasn't enough for you to just kill them. You enticed one of the bloodstained proselytes to join the monkey's side as the entire chasm watched. A slap in the face of the cult wasn't enough for you. You decided to spit in its face as well.
Oh, I feel better and better about my decision now. This is true joy.
Oh, but there is more. I hope Kekiros and Sinistoria are now writhing in horror at the mere thought that their headless subordinates have lost the Kabbalite who was sentenced to death by Nazrakai himself. First they decided to play at charity by making a proselyte, and now they let me slip through their fingers. Oh, I wish I could see the succubus's fate when she was given the news.
You dispatched me to kill the witches. Are you telling me you did not anticipate such consequences?
It was supposed to go differently. Your performance was supposed to be a lesson in respect, not a declaration of war. You would have killed someone unimportant and made the witch's vanity bleed.
The witches... I am so amused. I can't keep it together. This is music to my ears.
The witches would have received your head as a salve for their wounded pride. They would have been reminded for a time that I was still someone who could greatly complicate their existence. Instead, you have failed me, all of you. Kekiros did not keep her word, and you did not die in her trap. It is all your fault that things have spiraled out of control.
So, what's the plan then?
I will leave the anatomical opera and withdraw to the spire of the reaving tempest. The witches wouldn't dare settle their scores under the eye of my patrons, so the Cabal's valuable servant is safe from their ire. As for you, go out into the streets of the chasm and die, or go into the arena and try to kill Kekiros. Even if you succeed, you will still die. I should have stopped wasting time on this idiocy long ago. All those pathetic simpletons did was weaken my focus and distract me from my masterpiece. At last, I can devote all of myself to it.
So, I managed to bring about your downfall after all, unholy spawn.
Your insight is astounding, specimen, but have you noticed that you have also doomed yourself?
Tervantis becomes so absorbed in his thoughts that he starts shearing off pieces of his own flesh with his scissor-like claws.
Enter the arena. The succubi will not pass up this chance to gut you in front of an audience. If you could simply wound Kekiros, it would give us both enough time to escape. For that, I would be willing to sacrifice the deadliest and most valuable specimens in my collection. If you manage to kill her, run. Sinistoria will not let her impertinence go unpunished, and her wrath is 100-fold more dangerous than Kekiros' fury. Do not return to the chasm. You will find no shelter there. Seek salvation in other spires, and you may prolong your agony for a short time.
Since you are intent on fleeing, you might as well release my companions.
I cannot transport them to my new sanctuary. You may take them. I have unlocked the containment sarcophagi for dangerous specimen. Go and inspect them. Some of your servants may still be alive. But do not allow them to use their abilities until I have left the anatomical opera.
I require more of your time and am willing to pay for it. Okay, we can give this up. I've already mended my body.
I shall need equipment if I am to kill your enemies. The servants are always dragging worthless trifles in here. I have no use for them. Find yourself a club or a sharp stick suited to your abilities. You could try something more advanced, assuming you are not afraid of accidentally killing yourself with it.
Okay. Oh, well, we can buy stuff from him. Glimmer Steel Blade. Black Haze Venom Blade. What does this do? Okay, so that's a way to inflict bleeding. Rerunner Boots. I'm immune to that. Exoskeletal Gloves. Plus 10 Strength, plus 5 Toughness. That's alright. Dark Swiftness. And 2 more Homunculus Injectors. Well, take it all. The Glimmer Steel Blade I may give to Marazai. Yeah, no cargo to be sold there. And
I
then,
have a nose for
I think
profit
we have
and
another
a taste for adventure.
item as well. Okay, we can ditch the Scourge's adrenal glands. And we could share some of, seeing as you are abandoning your lair, would you be willing to share some of your creations with me?
The mere thought of you tarnishing them with your filthy hands is revolting. But if it serves to ensure my safety, I will tolerate this obscenity.
Oh, look at that. Pitch Black Desolator. Ooh, that's pretty good. This weapon what? This weapon inflicts a special immolation effect that inflicts burning 8, but cannot be removed until the end of combat. The target also must pass a toughness test or be stunned for 1 round. That is fucking good. Okay. Ceramite Xeno Chestplate. Okay. Extra armor from Lord Xenos. Good for, what's his name? Okay, Heartseeker Gloves. The first time the wearer scores a critical hit, whenever the wearer scores a critical hit for the first time in combat, the damage dealt by this critical hit is increased by 50%. The effect resets after they or their ally perform a heroic act or desperate measure. Oh my god, that's good. Swashbuckler Goggles. Wearer shots in melee range have 20% bonus to dodge reduction. That's good. Prey Scanner. At the start of combat, inflicts the prey status on the enemy with the highest number of wounds, without spending a charge of Hunt Down the Prey. Okay, so that's for bounty hunters. More Homunculus Injectors. More Ossifactors. More Wraithbone Grenades. Fantastic. Well, we got everything we could out of him. Let's,
Keep your wits about you.
go and loot the rest of this place. Okay. Execution Engine Master. This torture device is locked and sealed. Thick walls of this container were clearly designed to hold something extremely dangerous. Things in tubes. Where is... We can activate switches to do things. Let's loot everything first.
I always keep my options open.
We're gonna continue on. This is gonna be a long episode, guys. It's gonna be like a 2-hour episode, I think. Hope you don't mind. Well, press some buttons. Okay. Now go up here. Interesting. More stuff. Lots of Xenos goods. What do we got here? Long-range lens. Okay. Extra range. That's not bad. Iron cape. That's not a fucking cape. That's a box. Plus 10 agility and fellowship. Whenever the wearer's wounds should be decreased to 0, they get back up with 50% wounds. That's pretty good. Beat of Might. If the wearer has 8 or more AP at the start of their turn, they gain 30% damage for the rest of combat. Not sure how to do that. Yeah, there's probably ways. And the Homunculus' Prison. I think we can give this to Taravantius for more stuff. I don't know what more stuff he can give us, but maybe we can mend our broken body with this, using some of his own objects. Are we, like, reminding him that, like, hey, you got a thing here? Well, let's activate this switch. Should let this go.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
And then we can get there. Ah, it's a puzzle. I think. Oh, no, we can just get there now. Alright. Provocative Emitter. Whenever the wearer dodges an attack, they become a priority target for the attacker until the wearer's next turn. Stinger Ring. Ooh, Stinger Pod. That's cool. 100% armor penetration, too. It's like that other ring that we had very early in the game.
Spiked boots. At the start of combat, the wearer inflicts bleeding 5 on themselves. Okay, so this would mesh well with those talents that Marzai can get. Whenever the wearer performs an area melee attack, they inflict bleeding 3 on all hit creatures. That's cool. I think I'm going to actually give that to Marzai. Where are they? The spiked boots. That's these. Because then we don't need to give him the otherwise inferior glint steel blade. It's barely inferior, though. And it's got better armor penetration. Fuck it, I'm giving it to him anyways. And then we keep the venom blade, or is this one... does it do more damage? The venom blade has an AoE, so I'd like him to have that. Just because, though this also has an AoE. Though it's a much bigger AoE. And this weapon, the Pitch Black Desolator, is absurd. This thing is awesome. But I can't give it to Irliet. Even though you do have Drukhari weapon proficiency. I did give her that. So I'm not sure why she can't use it. We could give her a fusion gun. But no, I'm going to keep her with a backup melee weapon. We'll ditch the Fractal Blade. Don't think we need that. Wanderer's Portend, we can ditch that as well. Ranger Armor. You have Ranger Armor. Ditch that. Yeah, aside from that, we're looking pretty good. Where is Heinrichs? He should be here.
Is there money to be made?
Nothing in here anymore. Still haven't seen him anywhere. Did I miss him? Surely not. And this? That's not you. That's not him, hopefully. What did it say here? Terravantes the Arc Machinator. Because he let his prisoners go. He has Heinrichs. Where the fuck is he? Maybe that's here. No. My condition has been rather grave. Can you mend my body? With a loud click of his scissor-like fingers, Terravantes' voice turns ghoulish. Let's see what kind of interesting damage
Your body has taken and which parts of your miserable organics can be improved without inflicting any substantial harm on your sanity. Try not to scream. Some specimens end up tearing their vocal cords during this procedure. And again, you will scream whether you want to or not.
Right, well, a little bit of dissection never killed no one. Did we get anything from that? Don't think so. We were already,
Let us not dawdle.
mended. Where the fuck is, Heinrichs? I am a little, concerned. Maybe in here? No, this was the cage that he was already in. There's nowhere else that we could go, right? It was just these little side areas? But he ain't here. Who are you?
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
I really don't know where he is. He must have already been released. Hopefully we weren't too late. I'm gonna check my journal. Reunion. Set Heinrichs free. Find the sarcophagus where Heinrichs is being held. Yeah, I'm bloody trying to. Is it requiring like a search test or something? Or a, it's not this thing, is it? No. We can't talk to these guys? Maybe this one? No, this is the execution device. Oh, here we go. The Drukhari who is leaning over a body encased in a strange sarcophagus-like device turns around. The Xenos' face is covered in a mirrored mask, and he is holding tools of some kind. They more closely resemble a torturer's implement than those of a chirurgeon. A guttural hiss comes from behind the mask.
What do you want, cattle?
Examine the body within the sarcophagus. You instantly recognize the man who is pinned with hooks and bonds to numerous needles sticking out of the bowels of the device.
Despite the deathly pale, bloodless tone of his skin, Interrogator Heinrichs von Kallax is alive, judging by his weakly rising and falling chest and his frantically wandering half-open eyes. His head is tightly encircled by a wide metallic band. Blood is seeping from underneath it.
Get out, cattle. Step away from the contraption and I shall let you live.
Something in your voice gives the torturer pause. He tilts his head. You cannot see his expression because of the mirrored mask. But a moment later, the Xenos hisses, hunches his shoulders, and scurries away. And he's out with his full weapons. Alright, we saved him. Good. The body inside the sarcophagus is not moving. Heinrichs appears to have no awareness of his surroundings. His clouded gaze is directed past you. I'm gonna release him from the device. Actually, I'm gonna try and get his attention first. Heinrichs, it's Cyrene. Can you hear me? Heinrichs' head moves ever so slightly. You get a good look at his eyes now. The pupils are constricted to the size of a pinhead. He's blind. His bitten, bloodied lips begin to move.
To the warp with you, beast. I've heard all this before. You won't trick me again. This is no trick. Pull yourself together. I need your help.
His unseeing eyes move back and forth, struggling to see you.
Can't be. Cyrene, is it really you? Where are you? Are you close by? Then in the name of the throne, find a way to get me out of this coffin.
I'm gonna release him. You cut the tubes, pull out the hooks and the needles, and free Heinrichs from his bonds. He almost falls out of the Drukhari device, just managing to stay on his feet.
I can't see a thing. Give me a moment to ascertain what they've done to me.
He gestures feebly at his eyes. The air around him grows noticeably colder.
Blasted, I can't sense my own body. What did they do to you after we were captured? They moved me multiple times from one place to another. But what those places were, I cannot say. I saw spires in an ocean of mist. I saw the bowels of Drukhari's ship. I almost broke free once. Few things frighten the Xenos as much as warp powers. I was close. One might consider my words heretical, but I would say it was only due to the homunculus who brought me here that I survived after falling into that struggle. From there it was just this place, this coffin, pain. Did they blind you? No, I don't think so. It is likely just my body reacting to extended bouts of pain. He chuckles bitterly. To think that I have forgotten what it's like to experience such basic impulses. As a biomancer, I can stifle my physical reactions. Perhaps that is why I was chosen for this device. Because I had distanced myself from the sensation of pain, and because of my stubbornness that forbade me from surrendering. You cannot sense your body. What does that mean exactly? If I knew, I wouldn't be pondering the question right now, Cyrene, I think. The circlet on my head wasn't inhibiting my abilities, it was turning them inward. Binding them inside my body. They made me torture myself with warp energies. I was burning and mutilating my internal organs. Damned Xenos.
Heinrichs clutches his fist in fury and immediately winces from the pain. Can you walk? We do not have much time.
I can move, yes. Warp, take them. I feel like my nerves have been turned inside out and then sewn back together like that. For the time being, I will have to suffer pain whenever I take a step, until I recuperate. Now that I am free to use my powers again, it's entirely achievable.
Heinrichs barely manages to tear his hateful gaze away from the Drukhari when he notices Iliad next to him and lets out an agonized groan.
Cyrene, you must be joking.
Iliad did not want us to suffer this fate.
Of course. That's why she sold us out to her kinsmen at the drop of a hat. Enough. Nothing I hear will reassure me.
Heinrichs looks in your direction and blinks his feeble eyes.
We can go, but you will have to guide me for a little while.
Okay. We can take him along. Argenta, regrettably, I'm going to leave you behind temporarily. Or you can head back to Abelard. Alright, let's level him up. He is now an assassin. I am going to respec him. But for now, we'll give him a... Yeah, we'll do this.
poison. It'll at least give him some interesting effects with Marazai. The two of them can be the best of friends, truly. Yeah, we'll leave this as is.
I always keep my options open.
Anything else, Taravantius? I kind of want to just kill him, but maybe he needs our help. Or we need his help. Well, better leave then, but anything that happens after we leave, we'll have to wait for the next episode, because this one is definitely long enough. So I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, do drop this video a like. And, of course, I will catch you all in the next one, which will be out probably in a couple days to maximum a week, due to myself moving and having a very busy couple of weeks. So, righto, Heritor out.